Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
And now for a taste of things to come.
What's going on, everybody? And thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, thanking each and every one of you for coming back and joining me here in the theater. And today we're going to continue our journey in the Land of Oz with the second part of our double feature. Again, I've told you a few times I've looked up the film chronological timeline based on when events happen, not when the movies were made. We already have established there's going to be discrepancies between the films because 3 major movie studios had their hands in telling the overall arching Oz story. Today's film is the 3rd film in the timeline, Wicked for Good. And it stars Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Marissa Bode, Michelle Yeoh, and Jeff Goldblum. And our movie begins 1 year after defying the wonderful Wizard of Oz, played by Jeff Goldblum, as Elphaba Throp, played by Cynthia Erivo, who has now been branded as the Wicked Witch of the West by Madame Morrible, played by Michelle Yeoh, continues to battle for animal rights from her forest hideout. Glinda Upland, played by Ariana Grande, is now the wizard's spokesperson. She's engaged to Fiero Tegelar, played by Jonathan Bailey, who is now captain of the Gale Force. And as Oz celebrates the grand opening of the Yellow Brick Road, Fiero reveals that he is attempting to locate Elphaba, though Glinda insists that she does not want to be found. Elphaba encounters some animals leaving Oz, including her former caretaker, Dulcie Bear, voiced by Sharon D. Clarke, and she encourages them to fight against the wizard. The Cowardly Lion, voiced by Coleman Dominguez, dissuades them, exposing her as the reason for the wizard's flying monkey spies. Elphaba goes to visit her sister Nessa Rose, played by Marissa Bode, who has inherited their father's governorship of Munchkinland. To prevent her servant Bach, played by Ethan Slater, from abandoning her, Nessa Rose prohibits the Munchkins from leaving Munchkinland without her prior approval. Elphaba enchants Nessa Rose's shoes, giving her flight abilities. Bach, deciding Nessa Rose no longer needs him, and having learned of Glinda and Fiero's wedding, tries to leave. But Nessa Rose casts a spell on him with Elphaba's Grimoire, however it backfires, shrinking his heart. Elphaba's attempt to save him ends up turning him into a tin man. Elphaba returns to the Emerald City, where the wizard and Glinda implore her to join him, and she accepts under the condition that the flying monkeys be freed. Chistery, one of the monkeys, reveals a caged Dr. Dillamond with no ability to speak, among many other animals imprisoned within the wizard's lair. Elphaba reaffirms her resolve to fight the wizard and frees the animals, interrupting Fiera and Glinda's wedding. Fiero helps Elphaba escape and joins her. Concluding that they are having an affair, Glinda vengefully suggests that the wizard and Morble lure Elphaba out by spreading a rumor that Nessa Rose is in trouble. At the hideout, Elphaba and Fiero profess their mutual love. He sends her to an abandoned castle, Kiemo Co, for shelter. Morble realizes that a simple rumor won't fool Elphaba, and instead creates a tornado that takes a house from Kansas and fatally crushes Nessa Rose. Glinda gives Nessa Rose's shoes to the house's occupant, Dorothy Gale, played by Bethany Rose, and directs her to the wizard, promising that he can help her return home. A brawl begins between Glinda and Elphaba before the Gale force arrives. Fiero intervenes and holds back the guards by threatening to kill Glinda, who finally accepts the fact that he loves Elphaba. While the guards drag Fiero into a field and savagely beat him, Elphaba escapes with the monkeys to Kiemo Co, where she attempts to cast a spell to save Fiero's life. Believing that she has failed and lamenting both this and all her previous failed attempts to do right, she chooses to embrace her perceived wickedness. Dorothy befriends Bach, the lion, and a scarecrow on her way to the Emerald City, where the wizard instructs them to kill Elphaba and bring him her broom. Bach rallies the Emerald City's citizens against Elphaba, reflecting on her public image built on lies. Glinda confronts Morble about the tornado, but is rebuffed. Realizing she must do the right thing, Glinda rushes to Kiemo Co to warn Elphaba about the mob. Elphaba imprisons Dorothy and demands that she return the shoes just as Glinda arrives. After Chistery informs them of Fiero's apparent death, Elphaba decides to surrender. Entrusting Glinda with the Grimoire, they reaffirm their friendship in a tearful farewell. Glinda hides and watches in horror as Dorothy douses Elphaba in water, seemingly melting her. Having regained speech, Chistery, voiced by D. Bradley Baker, gives Elphaba's green elixir bottle, which belonged to her mother, to Glinda. She brings it to the wizard, who realizes he is Elphaba's biological father and the reason for her power. Ashamed of his actions, he leaves Oz at Glinda's insistence. Glinda becomes Oz's leader and directs the monkeys to apprehend Morrible for her crimes. She finishes telling her story to the Munchkins and reestablishes rights for the animals, who all get their voices back. The Scarecrow, revealed to be Fiero, transformed by Elphaba's spell, returns to Kiamoko and discovers Elphaba under a trap door, having faked her death to ensure that she is never seen in Oz again. They depart Oz while the Grimoire opens for Glinda, and our movie comes to its close. So here we are now with the third film in the timeline. The Yellow Brick Road, which existed in Oz the Great and Powerful, has now been built. We've established the origins of the Tin Woodsman and the Scarecrow, with a bit of discrepancy with the Tin Man, as in Oz the Great and Powerful, it's the Master Tinker who creates the Tin Man, and in the Wizard stories, it's Bach, whose last name was Woodsman, so it should have been obvious what his fate was going to be. Fiero becoming the Scarecrow as a way for Elphaba to save Scarecrow's life was a nice twist in the origin of the beloved character, I think. I also like the twist that Elphaba faked her death via a trapdoor. It really makes you wonder if she could have come back in the other L. Frank Baum novels. Even though Nessa Rose was Elphaba's sister and destined to become the Wicked Witch of the East, I didn't like how they did her turn, using Bach's love of Glinda. I feel like it was too similar to how Theodora turned into the Wicked Witch in Oz the Great and Powerful. I also did like how the slippers were silver in these films, like the original novel, as opposed to ruby like they were in the Judy Garland film. That said, I keep the rating here for Wicked for Good at 4 out of 5 stars. What did you guys think of Wicked for Good? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that discourse, that interaction, that engagement that I'm always trying to get out of you, my loyal viewers. Make sure you give the video a thumb up and post a comment of some sort, as it does help to boost my visibility in YouTube's algorithms, recommending my videos to other people who like movie review content and maybe have never heard of the Casa D18 Studios channel. So, until we return to the theater for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios YouTube channel, I have been your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, thanking you all for joining me, and I will catch you next time.